Buddy, talk us through how the link up with Derek Chisora started.
He called me on Instagram. He sent me, he DM'd me for my number. I gave it to him. He called me. We talked. Then David Haye called me. We talked. Then I called Derek back and I said, listen, how about we get together for a week? Work together to see if we click, you know? You know what I mean? Because some people could be friends, but in the gym they might not be able to click. And you got to be able to click in order to get the best out of each other. You know what I mean? So I came down for a week. Everything went well, and here I am.
What did Derek and David say they wanted you to come in for? What did they think that they needed that they thought they were missing? What did they say to you?
Well, I never really spoke with David about it. You know, he didn't mention it. Derek just says, I need someone to understand heavyweights. So I said, let's give it a shot.
How has it been training with Derek?
It's a lot of fun because he has a style that you can't describe. So you can't change it. You just got to enhance it. Because trying to change it, he's been doing it for so long. To try to change it will not work in our favor.
So looking ahead to this camp with Joseph Parker, can you just talk us through a little bit of the strengths and weaknesses of Derek Chisora and Joseph Parker and basically how you see the fight?
Well, to be honest, Derek's problem sometimes is when things are going good and he gets a little lazy, he gets a little lax. You know what I mean? So the key is just once you put your foot on the gas, you got to keep your foot on the gas. You can't let up, which I know will come in time. You know what I mean? So, and I know he understands that. So I just got to keep pounding it into his head every day. You know what I mean? And as far as Mr. Parker, I watched him fight a couple of rounds. I mean, I never really sat and studied him because when you sit and study someone, you look for one thing, and then if they don't do it, what do? So I prepare for any and everything. But one thing I do know is that he does not like pressure. Nobody likes pressure. I don't care who you are. So the key is to put that heat on him early and sustain it throughout the fight.
What do you think is going to change from Derek in his last fight with Alexander Usyk? Essentially, the public consensus when he fought Usyk was he had a very good first 3 or 4 rounds and then he ran out of gas. Is there any things you're doing in the camp to maybe make him a 12-round fighter, or is this a different training to someone like Usyk? Can you just talk me through a little bit?
Well, you're talking about 2 different type of fighters, Usyk and Parker. That's one. 2, as we go along training, you know, I see that he's a very hard worker. So sometimes you gotta save him from himself. You gotta back off. You gotta make him back off. He wants to drill hard every day. You can't do that. You know what I mean? It comes a time you just gotta ease up on the gas a little bit and let your body recoup. You know what I mean? He likes to pound. You can't do that. It's no good. Because if you do it too much and you go into the fight overtrained, it's like going in not in shape. So I gotta monitor him every day, watch his sparring, watch his workouts. And there's gonna be a day, I know for a fact within the next 2 weeks where I'm gonna stop his workout in the middle. He's not gonna like it, but you know what I mean? He'll thank me the night of the fight.
With someone like Derek, he regularly says to boxing media, I don't know how to box, I can't box, I only fight one way. Is he being a little bit harsh on himself?
Yeah, he's telling the truth. He's telling the truth, but the key is to enhance that, not just do it one way. You gotta mix it up a little bit, you know. Show him something different that will work with that style.
So one of Derek's main punches, obviously the overhand right. Have you seen other punches in his arsenal that you've also been impressed with?
Yes, I think he does very good body work. I mean, and I think inside he does very good body work. So, you know, we just got to put it all together in the next few weeks.
How has things been with David Haye in his gym? You being in London, how have you found your time over here, just in general?
I mean, it's great, you know, despite the lockdown. You know, I mean, it's good. They treated me well. I mean, I can't complain. I mean, I wish I can get out more, but the weather here is crazy. So, you know, it's hot one day, cold the next. So, but once I leave the gym and go back to the hotel, with the time difference, I'm still not adjusted. So I take a nap, then I'm up half the night, then I go to sleep. The next thing you know, we're back in the gym the next day.
In terms of this fight, obviously, a lot of the narrative around it is essentially the winner of this fight moves back into the world mix. The loser probably either rebuilds or retires. Where do you see Derek currently now in terms of the world mix in his career and just in general? Just give me a little bit of an oversight of how you see it.
Well, from the what I see in the heavyweight division, I mean, I know that once Derek puts together what we're working on, I think he's going to be back in the mix. You know, I don't look past anybody. You know what I mean? Right now, our goal is Joseph Parker, nobody else. I'm not looking past that. That's our future right there is Mr. Parker.
Can you talk me through a couple of the other heavyweights you've seen in the division?
I mean,
so for example,
if
Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury.
Tyson Fury is a freak of nature. You know, he's big, agile. You know what I mean? He's got a herky-jerky style. You know, I mean, he's gonna be a tough man for anybody to beat, and he has that confidence that is unbelievable. You know, Mr. Joshua, you know, has all the tools, and he does what he has to do to win fights. I mean, as far as the rest of the heavyweight division, I mean, I really couldn't tell you anything.
Okay, let's go maybe a run down from that, because in Derek's mind, obviously, when he talks to the media, he suggests essentially the aim is maybe a trilogy with Dillian Whyte. How do you compare Derek compared to Dillian Whyte, maybe, if you've seen them two?
Well, I'm going to be 200% honest with you. The first time I seen Dillian Whyte fight was last week when he fought Povetkin. And you can't really tell anything from that fight. I mean, he made one good move. He got Harold Knight, who's a very good trainer. You know, I know Harold very well, a very good trainer. But it was hard to see in that fight because that fight was over from the beginning of round one.
What's Derek's move been like outside of the gym, outside of training? What's he spoken to you about this fight? How's he feeling?
He's feeling great. I mean, you know, he's explaining to me how his body works, and so I'm listening to him, and then I'm watching him, and then as you know, I tell him how I like to do things, and he tell me how his body works, how some things he's got to do a little more than others in order for him to feel good. So you know, you got to meet halfway.
What's it like working with the guys at London Shoot Fighters? When you were first down in London?
Oh, the two brothers.
Yeah.
Oh, they cool, man. I mean, they're good people. I mean, they have their method of the way they do things. But what I like about them is that they would explain to me why they wanted the fighters to do what they want them to do. You know what I mean? So it wasn't just, okay, why is he doing that? They had an answer for it. It's not like, why is he doing that? I don't know, just to get him ready. Okay, but for what? They had an answer for everything that I would ask them. So it was good.
And I just want you to give me a little bit of a summary of what you see going down on Chisora Parker Fight Night. Is there going to be a knockout? What are you promising from us we're going to see from Derek Chisora? I
don't predict knockouts. I mean, you know, I just want to say that it's going to be a war, but I see Derek coming out on top. You know, I mean, we're going to take him into deep waters. You know, a guy like that, you got to take into deep waters and see how he handles it.
You've trained some greats, Kovalev, Malignaggi, a few others. How's it been with Derek so far compared to those guys? Do you feel at home?
He's a great guy. You know what I mean? And his style, like I say, his style of fighting is you can't explain it. You know, and but like I say, you know, it's sort of like after I watched him for like the first week, I know what I got to do now to enhance that to take him to the next level.
Do you think you've seen the secret ingredient already to beat Joseph Parker?
Oh yeah, listen, one thing we know for sure is that Derek is not going to come out and be on his toes, jabbing and moving. Everybody knows that, and if you think that, people are crazy. We know he's going to come out and put that heat on. It's self. I mean, you know, his nickname is War, so I mean, that tells you right there what he's coming looking to do. But it's how you attack that matters.
Does that take a little bit of your heartstrings a little bit? That Derek's a guy who just loves to come forward and he loves to fight. As in, that's what he's been very popular with from the British fans. And is your role encouraging him to attack as much as possible?
But attack using this. Got to be smart when you use the attack. You just can't go and attack. You got to have a smart way to approach it. I mean, you can't approach it the same way all the time because everyone's going to expect the same thing every time. So you got to give them that, but with different looks.
Talk me through what happens on May the 1st, how Joseph Parker's going to come out and how Derek's going to approach this fight through the 12 rounds.
Okay, we know Joseph Parker's going to come out and establish his jab. That's one of his biggest assets. Our goal is to take the jab from him and then get him into deep waters. Once we get him into deep waters, then we're going to see, it's going to be a different ball game. But, it's not going to be a walk in the park. I mean, but the later it goes, I believe in my heart that the longer it goes, the better Derek's going to be.